In a cruel economic twist, the very resource that has been the bedrock of this nation's prosperity is now its undoing. The plunge in global diamond demand has pummeled Botswana's mining industry, the country's economic engine, sending shockwaves through every sector. As the dust settles from the commodities crash, the path forward has rarely looked more uncertain for this shining democratic success story on a troubled continent. The numbers are staggering. Gross domestic product shrank an annual 5.3% in the first quarter, the worst contraction since the dark days of the COVID-19 pandemic's first wave. The diamond traders were eviscerated, their real value plunging nearly 47%. Mining and quarrying hemorrhaged over 24%. For a country where diamond exports comprise over 90% of total exports and about a third of GDP, it is an existential threat. These are challenging times, to be sure. President Mokgweetsi Masisi told me in the elegant semicircular office in Gaborone from which he stewards this nation of just 2.4 million people. Though his face was creased with worry, his gaze remained steady. But we have weathered many storms before through our traditions of prudent governance and fiscal discipline. Indeed, Botswana has long been Africa's democratic enlightenment, a prosperous and admirably uncorrupt nation whose impressive management of its mineral wealth has funded developments in education, health, and infrastructure that are the envy of the continent. Yet now it finds itself a victim of its own success, overly reliant on the vagaries of the luxury diamond trade. We were blinded by the glittering upside, and now the downside has caught us unawares, laments Kamatso Abi, a University of Botswana economist who has warned for years of the perils of the country's diamond dependence. Our people have grown accustomed to a certain standard of living fueled by those exports. When that engine sputters, the entire economy feels it acutely. The roots of the crisis stretch back to late 2021, when the Russian invasion of Ukraine disrupted global supply chains and tamped down consumer demand, especially in major markets like the US and China. The two diamond giants, De Beers and Russia's Alrosa, slashed production and stockpiled stones to prop up plunging prices. De Beers, which mines over 3/4 of its gems here in Botswana, took a severe earnings hit. Now, over a year later, any recovery remains slow and gradual in the crippled diamond market. As De Beers candidly cautioned earlier this year, weak economic growth continues to sap consumer appetites in the very markets that drive the diamond trade. The human toll has been immense. Vast tracts of the diamond hub Jwaneng, home to some of the world's richest diamond mines, have grown virtually abandoned, the bustle of daily life replaced by an eerie quiet. In the capital, panhandlers have become a more common sight, crowding traffic islands with despondent pleas for aid. Angry union protests demanding action have become frequent occurrences. People here took pride in our status as a middle-income nation, but now they fear we may slide backwards, Abi told me over a lager at Gaboroone's famed Maharaja's restaurant. The rich aroma of curry spices couldn't mask the odor of economic anxiety. For President Masisi, charting Botswana's recovery path will require finely threading a needle, continuing the prudent fiscal policies that won his predecessors such global respect while seeking new, catalytic ways to diversify the economy beyond its dangerous dependence on luxury gems. We cannot abandon the diamond industry that gave us so much, but nor can we remain hostage to its volatilities, he told me, the lengthening afternoon light casting his visage in an almost diamond-like glint. Our way forward must balance continuity and change, evolution and heritage. In the bustling diamond sorting rooms of Jwaneng, I watched skilled sorters swiftly assess each stone's quality under bright lights. The process, I thought, not unlike how Botswana's leaders must carefully study their nation's circumstances and chart a future that protects its greatest strengths while addressing its most glaring flaws. For if the world's diamond trade has taught any lesson, it is this. Uneven qualities of polish, cut, and clarity inevitably reveal themselves under scrutiny. Without deft adjustments, even the most seemingly flawless stone can lose its brilliance over time. As I departed the impeccable, modestly opulent grounds of the State House, Botswana's elegant diamond motif was everywhere, adorning gates, doors, and carvings. A reminder that this nation's hopes remain inextricably bound to that most precious, most finite resource. When the diamonds fade, so too may the dreams they financed. In the waning evening light, their sparkle looked surprisingly fragile.